How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about AMC. I've been getting a lot of requests about this play. I haven't been feeling too well. I wanted to get an update video for you guys out sooner, but I got your back for this coming week. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch its full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we're going to be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for AMC. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $18.24, being down 7.55%. On the low, it tested $18.13, and then on the high, testing $19.70. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 42.675 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 93.07 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day. Part of the reasons why we did see a little bit of weakness in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 44.29. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and we literally just broke below the 50-day. It is at $18.27, and we closed at $18.24. So many times you'd want to see this actually hold as support, but if it does end up breaking through this level, especially for this coming week, don't be shocked if you see AMC trading at $16. So I want to make sure I'm being completely straight up with you guys. But before it gets to $16, I want to be very curious to see if support could hold up right here around $16.40. So look for $16.40 to break, and then it would test around $16. I'd want to see some buyers stepping in around $17, but I feel like the market is continuing to pull back. This will be a difficult feat. But again, these are just my predictions. If you're looking forward for a reversal from AMC, then you'd want to see some price action above the 21-day EMA, which is at $20.56. Because I think the moment AMC can get back above $20 or even being at $20 and it consolidates, it can get ready for that next move up, and being able to reach the 100-day, which is right here around $22.94, we could just call that $23. But in order for this to happen, we need to have bulls stepping in, more buyers coming into the play, getting that volume back up. So for now, let's see if we can get a break above 1970 for this coming week to see if AMC can get comfortable back in the $20 range again. But do know about the bearish case scenario that I mentioned, and it's something you do not want to ignore or be naive of. You want to be prepared. So now let's go on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for AMC. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at recent filings here, we have for the 8th a closed position from Mass Mutual Trust Company, and we also see it from SOA Wealth Advisors LLC for the 7th as well. And as far as for recent filing for the 8th, but again, this wasn't a new or closed positions, we have Low Wealth Advisors LLC that actually decreased their position by 33.33%. So then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 56.48%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 12.02 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1 million, updated 12 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.29%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 7th, it was at 56.60, and then for the close of the 8th, being at 56. 6.48. So one thing that is clear, AMC does continue to have short squeeze potential, especially since the short interest percentage of the float is at 20.27%. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for AMC. So we see on the inflow it's at 119 million, and then on the outflow it's at 121 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 81.40, and then on the small it is 37.69. Taking a look at the outflow side, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 86.44, and then on the small it was 34.50. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for April the 8th, so the Friday just passed, we ended up having 0. But as far as for the past 5 trading days, we could see we had 3 outflow days, and on the 7th, on the 6th, and as well as for the 5th. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. We had the apes coming through. On the medium, you could see that we had more selling than we had buying, and then for the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had 0 on both sides. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 8.26%. So this is not too bad for a volatile stock like AMC. But one thing that was very clear, there still continues to be interest on the retail side. So let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for AMC, when it comes to the price action, if it continues to pull back for this coming week, I want to see support hold up at $16.74. If we break this level and go to 16 bucks, this is where I can see a lot of bulls stepping in, buying up those shares, and then I want to look forward to seeing a strong pop. And as far as that reversal that I want to look for, we'd have to reclaim around $20.56. Reclaiming this level, we can have a strong push that goes to $23. So that is one thing you want to keep in mind, especially if the stock does decide to pull back. But you guys know already, I love when AMC is trading above $20. So make sure you add that to your homework and as well as your due diligence, because I want to make sure you are prepared for it. Many people will tell me, well, Dre, you are being bearish. You're always talking about the stock pulling back. The only thing that I want to do is to make sure anyone who might be new to getting into AMC and so forth knows what to expect going forward and what the potential could actually look like. So that's why I give the bearish case scenario and I give the bullish case scenario. I actually do this in a lot of my videos in the stocks that I talk about. I want to make sure I'm being neutral and we're having realistic expectations, because the last thing that you want is to be going to every single YouTube channel and everyone's telling you it's going to the moon and you're sitting down waiting, the stock is pulling back and everyone has concerns. All right, so I want to make sure you guys are prepared. I know I sound like a broken record, but this is why we go over these price levels. We also have to take into consideration we have the CPI data that's going to be coming out on April the 12th. And why is this important, Dre? We know as far as for AMC, they are riddled in a lot of debt. They've done a great job when it comes to financing, but when you take in CPI, we have to make sure that when those numbers come out, they are not above expectations. If they end up being above expectations or the average, then we could see the whole entire market pull back and AMC will be one of those plays. And that's why I was giving you guys those lower levels at $16.74 and as well as $16. But if we end up getting the results and they end up being below expectations, or it shows that, you know what, we pretty much have reached our peak since the Feds are being a lot more hawkish, then I can look forward to seeing AMC making a bit of a run. So I know you have another question. Why did AMC pop going to $34 and then pulling back? Again, there's a lot of profit taking that was happening. And we also have to understand that this is a very choppy market. And to keep that run, it wouldn't have been sustainable. We need to have a run like that when the markets are looking a lot better. So that's why I'm saying when all these headwinds are out of the way, things are really looking good for AMC. But we just have to know, as far as for the 10-year yield, it has been spiking a bit, being at around 2.7%. So any companies who are not profitable, or if they're holding a lot of debt or they're going to be needing a lot of financing, this is not the best environment for them. And that's why we are seeing AMC is struggling. But for the most part, I think it's doing really good, and it's only a matter of time before the stock price begins to start moving up alongside with the rest of the market. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information, AMC does continue to have short squeeze potential. But if you've been in this play long enough, you should not be surprised whatsoever. We know that short sellers like to gang up on this play, but we know when we get a lot of buying pressure, or we get a strong catalyst, or we have Adam Aaron coming through and giving us some good updates, this stock can move very quickly like we saw recently. So that's why I say, if you are an ape, continue to be patient. And if you're thinking about getting into this play, please do your homework, please do your due diligence. And if you know you're gonna have weak hands due to the volatility in this play, I'd highly suggest you stay away from it and put your money somewhere else. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for this coming week. We'll talk soon.